We found this secret. GCSE examiners may not want this secret revealed. Stay until the end to find out more what this secret is and how you can use it for your GCSE English exams taking place in May and June 2024. Now, an important point to note, this is applicable for all exam boards, AQA, Edexcel, OCR, Educas, etc. So you may be wondering, hang on, what do I mean? What is this secret? So let's dive in. Let's have a look at it in further detail. Now, this is to do with your creative writing task for your English language exams for paper 1, section B. Now, regardless of your exam board, we all know that it is a 40-marker or a 40-mark question. And the secret is for you to memorize and pre-plan your question 5, your creative writing. The reason I say this is because if you memorize a generic story, you can apply that same generic story in your real exam, and all you have to do is you need to adjust the story so that it fits the question. So if you write a generic story, you'll be able to always adapt and tweak it based on the question you are provided, regardless of the exam board. And this is the secret that majority of students and teachers don't know, and for some peculiar reason they don't actually use. So if you are watching this is a great hack or secret for you to use, and I can guarantee you will achieve top marks and hopefully get a grade 8 or a grade 9. Now, you might think to yourself, but sir, how do I write a generic paragraph or generic story that will fit any question? So the easiest way I would advise you all is, if I write a story based on an abandoned house, I'm sure some of you have done this question before, I can use that setting and I can use that theme of horror, etc., and add a twist to it, and write a generic story which I can adapt based on any question provided. And I will prove it to you using past paper questions, just in case if some of you are thinking, but sir, are you sure it works for any question? Then can you show me? And I'm happy to show that for today and give you that confidence that it's something so simple but highly effective in preparation for your exams, etc. Now, there's the common things that you can describe in your story. So, for example, the weather, it will either be positive or it'll either be negative, or you can use juxtaposition and have a bit of both, positive and negative. Certain things that you'll always describe: the sky, the river, the rocks, the wind, the sea, okay, XYZ, the list goes on. So I will show you some negative and positive and negative paragraphs, which are grade 9 and for you to use in any question for creative writing for your English exams, and it will allow you to get top marks. So let's share it with you so you guys all can see. Now, these are the negative weather paragraphs. I've got 3 variations. And also remember, when you are writing your answer for creative writing, you do want to get marks for structure. Okay, remember, you do get marks for structure, and the easiest way to approach that is by using a 1-sentence paragraph. And you might think, hang on a second, so why should we use a 1-sentence paragraph? The reason is it can be used to show a focus shift or a shift in focus. So as you can see from the one I have at the bottom, it says, thunder lashed through the air like the crack of a whip, and a blinding strobe of lightning illuminated the murky sky for a split second. And if you look at the previous paragraphs, the first and second one, it's entirely up to you whichever one you want to use. But these are literally paragraphs that you can memorize and essentially copy and paste into your answer. And obviously that's not enough for the entire answer, but you'll continue writing. But this is a great starting point, okay? Now, can these paragraphs be used for an abandoned house? Yes, they can. Okay, so just follow through as I go through the video. You'll understand if you stay until the end. Now, can this be used to write a story based on an abandoned house? Yes, you can, absolutely. Negative weather. If you're in an abandoned house, you may be near the cliff. You may be near the sea. You may be near the forest. Okay. It's completely up to you where this abandoned house is. And generally speaking, if it's abandoned, it's isolated, you most probably will have negative weather, rain, torrential rain, okay, heavy winds, etc. And these are paragraphs that fit really well. So you guys can take a screenshot of this, use this in preparation for your creative writing. Now, let's have a look at the positive weather paragraphs. So these are the 2 grade 9 positive weather paragraphs. And if you are writing a story about about an abandoned house, generally speaking, most of the story, it would be negative, okay? And then you may use juxtaposition and show a shift, okay? Suddenly, you've been able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And that's where you can use juxtaposition towards the end of your paragraph, or towards the end of your story, rather. And this is where obviously the mood changes, the atmosphere changes, and you start seeing positive weather, okay? And you'll get marks for structure here for you juxtaposing those ideas. And these are some paragraphs that you guys can use. So you guys can screenshot this. Easy grade 9 paragraphs for you to use and apply in your question. So I hope that makes sense. Negative, positive weather paragraphs you memorize, use, tweak and adapt based on the question provided, and you can expand as well. What I would say, best approach is if you practice some past paper questions using the method I've just taught you now, using the negative and positive weathers, and if you write a generic story and use that generic story template to answer some past paper questions. Now, let me show you some past paper questions and see if we can use this story of an abandoned house and use it for any past paper question. And I'll prove it to you how it's easily doable. Now, as you can see, this is a past paper question from an official past paper. This is taken from AQA's exam paper, and it reads, write a story about a life-saving rescue, and that's worth 40 marks. Now, if you remember the abandoned house story that I referred to, the positive and negative weather paragraphs, the grade 9 model generic paragraphs, can that be used? Can that be tailored? Can that be tweaked to answer that question? Yes, absolutely. The answer is yes. If you're in an abandoned house, can there be this element of a life-saving rescue? Absolutely. You could be, for example, in this abandoned house, you're exploring the vicinity, and then you go inside. You explore the outdoors first, the outside, and then you go inside, and then towards the end, suddenly, you almost had a really bad accident, okay, a dangerous accident, and then there was a life-saving rescue where a local person nearby or a close friend was able to hear you and they were able to rescue you, or you found something that was able to rescue you, whatever, okay, or even an animal. It's completely up to you. Now, can an abandoned house be used in this question, the one that you've memorized and pre-planned? Yes, it can, okay? So that's just one past paper. Let me show you with another past paper. Now, the second past paper question we have here, again from a different year, write a story about a new beginning. Right, same example. If I memorize the abandoned house story, can I use that and tweak it based on the question about a new beginning? Absolutely. So just to give you an insight, it could be that you write the story of you exploring this abandoned house and you realize this is your new place, okay? And you would like to move in here because you see a lot of history. You see a lot of sentimental items, and you just get you get this euphoric feeling, okay, because you're attached to nature. And although it's an abandoned house, you begin to renovate it, okay? You start to revamp the property, you revamp the surroundings, and that is essentially a new beginning. And remember, the negative and positive paragraphs that you've memorized, the ones I've shown you previously, the positive weather paragraphs can be used maybe halfway through and inserted, literally copied and pasted to show that transition, that new beginning. It's as if you've been reborn. And then you can have a one-sentence paragraph as well. Leave a thumbs up, like this video if you understand what I'm saying, because honestly, this is something that examiners don't want you to know, your teachers don't want you to know, and it's a secret and it's a hack for you to get those top marks for English, okay? And also, I don't think I've seen many papers or videos similar to that of mine going over it in that much detail. But regardless, I hope this video is beneficial, and I'm hoping you will understand the proof I'm showing you. Now, some people may be doubters, or they might still be skeptical, but I will prove it just one more time with another exam paper. Now, the last final question I've got, again from a different exam paper series, it reads, write a story about an event that cannot be explained, and that's worth 40 marks. So can I use that same abandoned house story? Yes. And furthermore, look at the picture provided. You could have an abandoned house which is situated just outside these gates, or maybe inside deep into the forest, okay? It's completely up to you. That's the beauty of English. There's no right or wrong answer. You're simply using your imagination. How amazing is English, right? Now, write a story about an event that cannot be explained. So it could be you literally exploring this abandoned house, and you start with the negative weather. You start describing the outside. You know, you're exploring the vicinity with your friends. Then you go inside, and then you realize there's this secret door. You open the secret door, just like Narnia, and you realize you've entered utopia. You've entered another world. So, you know, what's separating you from this door? Prior to you going in, you are in a dystopia. You are in a graveyard. It's dull, it's dingy, it's gloomy, it's depressing, it's exasperating. But this door that you twist open, you twist a handle and you enter, you've entered utopia. You've entered a new life, and it's an event that you cannot explain. Okay, you're mesmerized, and it's almost an enigma. Everything is a mystery. And is that something that cannot be explained? Does that answer the question? Yes, it does. Absolutely. So can you all see the secret hack and the cheat sheet that I've provided you with? This is literally the formula for success for your creative writing, regardless of your exam board, AQA, Edexcel, OCR, or Educast. I've gone over this. I've trial and tested this hundreds of times with my students, and in fact that's how I got a grade 9, and that's how I teach my students during our tuition classes how to get grade 9s as well. And to those of you who I taught previously, or previous year 11s, you would know that that's something that I've taught you all, to have a almost script ready, or a pre-planned creative writing story memorized. And you know, all you do in the exam is you apply it and tweak it based on the question. And to be honest, this is probably one of the most important videos. If you did stay until the end, thank you very much. Do comment that you stayed until the end so I do know, etc. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Follow us on all social media platforms at Easy Education London, and hopefully we shall catch up very soon. Thank you.